Dallas burns tonight if they lose this game. They just burn the whole city down if they lose this game.
No way.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, these guys won't be talking about it tomorrow. I guarantee you that.
Orlovsky loves talking Cowboys football. He's with us now, courtesy of MyBookie.ag. What's up, Dan? How are you today?
I'm doing great. I do not love talking Cowboys football. I do it far too often for my health.
No, I thought it was interesting, and I know you're going based on what you have seen this year. But if I would have told people going into week 4 that Dan Orlovsky was going to do his top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL right now, and included in that list would be Geno Smith, Kyler Murray, Sam Darnold, and even Aaron Rodgers, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of credit to those guys, and certainly their situations. Probably, the Sam Darnold one that stands out is the one that you're going, oh my gosh, this guy went from, in many people's eyes, a bust to now he's an MVP candidate and playing at such a high level. Kyler Murray has been a resurgence in many ways, and I just hope that continues to trend up for the type of player that he's shown to be the first 3 weeks. Geno's been really good for 2 or 3 seasons now. We just don't talk about him, unfortunately. I guess the doubt on Rodgers, I understand it. I don't think it was ludicrous, but he's reminded people with a ball in his hands, he is as good as really anybody that we've ever seen making some throws. And then Josh just playing at a level that no one else is close to right now.
Doug Peterson promises change after the Jaguars lost this past weekend. Does that mean Mac Jones in for a $245 million Trevor Lawrence or no?
No, I don't think so. It's such a difficult conversation to even contemplate because you just paid Trevor. And, Trevor's had moments where you sit there and go, man, that's the guy. That's the number 1 pick. And I feel Trevor is stuck right now. I think it's 2 things. Trevor is stuck right now mentally, it looks, where he's trying to prove every play. I'm the number 1 pick, trying to prove every play I was worth the contract. And, I am one of those guys. And he's almost hitting the home run or trying to every play. Now, the downside is it also looks like the plays that they're calling are trying to score a touchdown every play. And there's very, in their words, they want more breather plays. It just doesn't look like the breather plays are there right now. And it's that really bad perfect storm combination of both it feels the scheme and the player chasing on a constant basis. I can't imagine that that's even a thought process in Jacksonville.
So you say Trevor Lawrence is not broken because that's the narrative here. Trevor Lawrence is broken.
I don't. Broken is probably a little strong for me. Okay. I do think mentally he's in a really bad place. I do think mentally he is very much so consumed with the result rather than just trying to operate good plays and playing at a high level. So broken is the connotation is like meaning, dude, like, I don't know if we're going to get this fixed. I don't think Trevor is unfixable, but I do believe that there is stuff that needs to get fixed. Yeah.
Dan Orlovsky with us. MyBookie.ag brings you Dan each week. Code next round when you sign on to MyBookie.ag. They will double that initial deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Can you explain to me Cincinnati being 0-3? This does not compute to me. I just don't understand how they're 0-3.
Yeah, a little bit is the margin in the NFL. They're 3 plays away from being 3-0. First game of the year, a touchdown gets called back, and then the next play is a fumble in the red zone. They get that, they win. They didn't play good. And then week 2, a pass interference. And then week 3, a perfect throw from Jaden Daniels. So, quite literally 3 plays, but you're 0-3. Now, I think they're better than that. The downside to them is there's the only thing they can hang their hat on is Joe in the pass game. That's the only thing. They can't run the ball. They don't run the football. Their offensive line's not pass protecting at an incredibly high rate. They can't stop the run. They don't tackle well. They can't defend the pass. So, that's the concern for the overall football team. They lose this weekend, man. You're sitting at 0-4. Your season is done. You're not getting in, especially in that conference and that division. And that's when you start having the conversation, at least. I said today, if they go 0-4, it's worthy of sitting down and going, which one of those receivers do they entertain trying to trade and recoup some value for?
There is not a better example of the NFL than 2 weeks ago. The Raiders are down double digits in Baltimore. They win the game. They come back and host a Carolina team that has not even been competitive, that benches their quarterback, and Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, goes out and just lays it down. Explain to us, because I know we ask you probably more about Bryce Young than any of our guests, but this just doesn't look good. You know, I think you believe Bryce is still there. I believe there's still a lot of meat on the bone for Bryce. But for Andy Dalton to go in and play like he did on the road and for them to run the Raiders off their own field, what happened there?
Yeah, Andy was way more convicted with the football and aggressive with the football, and he got it out and was, aggressive with it downfield, found Thielen, found Deontay. Like, I think the best way that I try to describe it in my mind is if you guys, we've all been in a swimming pool or something like that, and we've done the how long can you hold your breath for thing. And, at some point you try to even know you can't, you can't, and all of a sudden you get engulfed with water, and then, you're choking essentially. Look for Bryce playing, you're getting to the point where it's almost like you're watching him choke himself underwater. And then Andy's the version of comes up for air. And you're like, man, that's a breath of fresh air. You just saved my life type of thing. And so that's what it was like watching. It was just this breath of fresh air from Andy Dalton. So it's not a good look for Bryce. No. But it is the very clean example of Andy's got so much more experience and he's so much more fundamentally and mechanically sound. And the confidence that comes from that is so impactful. That's why you saw that performance.
Cocktails just delivered to us from the wharf here locally. We'll tell you more about those.
What do you got?
I don't know.
Yeah, hey, Carly, what do we have?
What do we have here?
Can you just
Dan
yell
wants
to
to know
us?
what we got.
Do you know what we've...
It's something.
This is
Electric
right?
lemonade.
Ooh, electric lemonade, my thing.
Oh, is it? Dan Orlovsky loves electric lemonade. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I would imagine that's a lemonade and vodka. Or
Is that
something.
lemonade and vodka, electric lemonade?
Yeah.
Yep,
Heavy
absolutely.
nods. Heavy nods.
Yeah. Red Mont vodka. Okay.
Charles Barkley's vodka. How about that?
Right there. So that gets me to my. That gets me down to Miami. I'm not a Miami fan, but my buddy Brown is. Why would you not go quarterback since we've got these tropical beach drinks down at South Beach? Why do we not? We got a great roster. Why do we not try to get a quarterback?
Yeah.
Why don't we not go Ryan Tannehill?
Yeah, my guess, okay, this is total assumption by me. We have them on Monday Night Football. We haven't talked to them yet. Total guess is they know Tua is going to come back and play.
Okay.
That would be the only thing in my mind that would make sense, because if you just watch this offense try and operate, you're like, my goodness. And in one way, it makes you appreciate the value of Tua. I'm not telling everybody Tua is the best player in the NFL, but he operates this offense at an incredibly high and crisp level. And I've tried to tell folks, like, you're not just plugging and playing anybody in there and doing it the same way. But if you just watch it try and operate, it's painful. It's tough. And so to not do something at the position and feel like you're getting an upgrade in some capacity, whether it's talent or potential or experience to what you have now, makes me think that they believe after the IR stint is up that Tua, yes, will be playing again.
I have got a group of Titans fans here in Birmingham that are coming over to the house to watch the Monday night game. Are you on that one? Which one are you on Monday night?
Yeah. We have the Tennessee Miami one. Yep.
Yeah. So they're coming to my house to watch the game with me.
Awesome.
Listen, I know you guys would do it, sign up in a heartbeat, but I love 2 Monday night games.
Oh, I do too.
It's a great setup. It's a great setup.
Well, I told my boys nobody can be happy with their quarterback situation. We'll be starting Tim Boyle, and they'll be starting their starter. That's the problem in that game. That's not a great quarterback game.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch Tennessee, because if you're just being honest and remove the record and you watch their tape, you go, man, this skill group in Tennessee is really good. Those 3 receivers are really good players, and I like their 2 tight ends, and Pollard looks good. And the offensive line's not remarkable, but there's some good moments. And then, when, like, if Will Levis gets a call in his helmet and he gets the line of scrimmage, and it's what they're expecting the defense to do via tape or drawing, it is good looking, man. Like, it is pretty. But then when the defense does something different or changes the picture or makes him get to a number 2, it's not all that dissimilar to Trevor, where you're like, dude, subtly move and throw the ball calmly to that guy. If they can get him there, you got something, but they've got to find that out of him.
Much like your top 5 quarterback list, I didn't think I would say this out loud, but I said it on Monday. The best team in the NFC and maybe in the NFL, I mean, maybe it's Buffalo, but the Minnesota Vikings. And I know Sam Darnold's going to get all the love, but back to Browns Dolphins, I know that the Tua Brian Flores experiment didn't work out, but Brian Flores with this defense, giving up 10 points per game, and you look at how they have dominated their opponents. Sam Darnold on that offense, that's been a great story under Kevin O'Connell, but what Brian Flores' defense has done, I think, has been really the statement with this team.
Yeah, it's the best coached team in football, when it comes to Kevin O'Connell, the offense, and Flores and the defense. Do you guys remember the Monday night game probably 5 years ago now when Sam Darnold was playing with the Jets, had that awful moment, and he said, I feel like I'm seeing ghosts.
Yep.
That was Flores. That's the funny thing. That was Brian Flores in the defense. And I feel like he's making a lot of quarterbacks do that. Really good quarterbacks just chase things that aren't there or feel things that aren't there. And, they're playing at an incredibly high clip. And the reality is this, dude, you better be good on first down versus that defense. If not, dude, you are in for a brutal 3 hours.
So my Rams head to Chicago to take on the underwhelming Bears, sitting at 1-2, their only win over those Tennessee Titans. Caleb Williams. I know Jaden Daniels has been fantastic. Different system, different situation, much like we saw last year with C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young. I don't know if it gets that bad. Do you like the way Caleb's being used right now?
No, I don't love the offense, and I know Shane Waldron, their offensive coordinator, and I'm sure there's an element of he's trying to figure out kind of who Caleb is, who's this offense together, all that. They got to get Keenan Allen back healthy. I think I don't love a ton of the pass concepts. There's a little bit of a gimmick element to them at times for me, like college gimmicky. I don't love that. I think, too, Caleb's learning, like, you only get one hitch to every guy in this league. Like, you can't double hitch to guys in this league consistently. Defenses are just too good. So he's learning that. I think they got to get comfortable just throwing the ball to Rome at times, Rome Odunze. I don't think Rome is going to be this guy that separates a ton, but the body control warrants some of the throws. So that's got to be a little bit of a bigger part. Their offensive line's got to play better as well. So it's not just a singular issue. There's probably 4 or 5 that really got to improve.
All right, see Dan Monday night when the Dolphins reestablish their dominance in the Tim Boyle era. Is that who you think is going to start as Tim Boyle? Is that who you're preparing to see?
I'm really hoping that Schefter breaks news that they trade for like Bryce Young or something. So
me and you both.
Yeah, I candidly, you're preparing for both. There's not a ton of film on both Skyler and Tim Boyle, Tyler Huntley. So
yeah,
it's I guess not even more than a coin flip.
All right, that's a sales job.
It's a meaningful American football game.
You get to see Will Levis against a coin flip quarterback for the Dolphins.
Legitimate question, though. If that game Sunday night was in Arrowhead, and that's Mahomes to Kelsey on that third down, the next to last possession, how many times is that called a pass interference out of 100?
100.
Yeah.
I'd also say this. Mahomes is going to throw the ball up high, so Travis makes the throw. I would say that Kirk just missed it low twice.
Interesting.
Tough loss. That
was a tough one. Dan, thank you very much. Have a great week.
Thanks, guys. You too.
All right, buddy. We'll see you. Dan Orlovsky with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. He's presented each week by MyBookie.ag. Code next round. Code next round when you sign in, make that initial deposit. They will double it right there at MyBookie.ag when you use code next round.